Okay, welcome back to the channel, folks. I'm going to go over a little history and what I've done with these two Dodge Aspen RTs. Now, I bought these two from the same guy, and I don't know how he came across the same year and the same paint color. But he did. I forgot to ask him, or I can't remember. So I bought them from him. I think he had it on Facebook or Craigslist. And I paid $2,500 for both of them. And they're in a lot worse shape than I anticipated. But, and why did I buy them? I'm actually a Chevy Pontiac guy. When I was a kid, I bought one of these. And I think I drove about 50,000 miles in just a couple of years. It's a great car. They're just not around anymore because they were just rust buckets. Especially from me being up in Canada. Even down south here, there's none of them around. They're just a needle in a haystack, if you ever see one of these things. So we'll go over this one. Well, okay, these are both 1978s, and this first one here came with a 360 in it. It was the fastest production car, American production car in 1978. It could be the Z28, a Trans Am, a Corvette, Mustang, you name it. It was the fastest with a 364 barrel. So it kind of, but of course it's not fast compared to today's standards with you know, Hellcats and Coyotes and ZR or LS7s and 8s and stuff. It's nothing compared to that. But in the day, at that time, it was the fastest car. Car makers just couldn't nail down how to make a car fast with all the smog emissions, and people were more interested in gas mileage. Insurance rates were through the roof on a muscle car. So this is it. This was the fastest car. So we'll go over this first one. This first one, now like I said, they're both RTs. They both come with buckets and console. Both the same color, both the same stripes, both the same color interior, maroon. This one I think must have been a parts car because obviously the steering wheel's missing. Not much else other than the drivetrain. It has no drivetrain in it. Of course the seats need recovered. It's got some good points. And the problem with these cars is nobody makes aftermarket parts for them. So the only way is to buy used parts. Now these are the louvers. I believe the clips are probably broke from them. They go on there like this. And I have 3 of them, so I'm missing 1. But I only plan to build 1 car out of, well, it's going to come up on 4 cars here, but out of these 2 RTs, I want to build at least 1. Now the problem with this car is the door locks inside, door latches, are completely frozen. And no matter, I'd spray WD-40 down in here, let it sit, no matter what, they would not open. I bought these cars about 3 years ago, and the guy actually delivered them to me from Tulsa. So now they've been sitting 3 years. I went over them, I mean, very, very fast. And then just parked them, and they've just been sitting here for at least 3 years. So that window over there I actually broke to get in it. Thought I could try to get this one open, driver's side open by the inside latch. No, both of them do not open. So I don't know, being a body man, the only thing I could think of was to cut a hole in here like this to get at the latch and hit it with a hammer or something to open it. but I'm not too worried about that right at the moment. Now, we'll go over the car. These rims here, now these, I'll show you that it's a slight difference in these two. This one was a 360 car. I don't have my glasses. I believe it's right there. It says 360, factory 360 cubic inch. That's what you want. And it's a roller. Somebody took the motor transmission. Oh, they did leave the power steering pump. I haven't opened this hood in 3 years. But of course it needs everything. Okay. That's that one. I do believe I have them lenses. They just fell out. I believe they're in the trunk. This grill here, which is the best one, is broke. And I'm sure somebody will want a fortune for that. Now these both are rust buckets. One is from northern Oklahoma and the other one's from Kansas. Someone had busted open the trunk lock, so that whole panel screwed up there. I did have a car cover on it, but it kept blowing off. Trying to save the damn thing, but you can see this rust here. The rust along the bottom is pretty bad. Rust along this bottom is pretty bad. The doors don't open. There's a remnants of the busted window I had to break out just to get in there. These wheels here, I don't know what they're worth, but now this is why this one's a little bit probably worth a little bit more, since it came originally with the 360 and these rally rims here. Some guy on eBay had a set on there, just the rims for $1,600. I don't know if they're worth that much or he's just dreaming, but those are the rallies, 15-inch, compared to the second one here. I got one of the rims. This particular one came with a 14-inch. See, so obviously this one was upgraded. Okay, let's stick with this one here for just a second. I just now opened the trunk. I hadn't opened it in 3 years. It was jammed shut. I opened it before I turned on the camera. They left me some parts in here. There's a fan and exhaust manifolds. This looks like a spare, and actually the original jack is still there. Then you can see the holes in the quarter panel down there. But the trunk floor itself looks okay, what I can tell so far. And this one's full of crap. And it's helping it rust more. But I'm a paint and body guy, so I'm not too concerned about the rust. I can fix it all, just a lot of labor. Now this deck lid here, you can see that corner, she's shot. She is done. So one reason I bought this was because there was two of them. And I thought, well, at least I'll get some good used parts off another one. Okay, so this one over here, and a slight difference. This one didn't have the bumper guards. This one does. Although this bumper, it's bent up. Same with this one. This one was jammed shut. I just got that opened. As you can see, this deck lid, that corner there's, it's okay. It's a lot better than the other one. So I'd probably use this deck lid for the one I fix up. Now, a lot of the stuff in here is extra parts. I'm going to go over it in a little bit. Because right after I bought these two cars, I searched high and low on Craigslist and everything, and a guy had a truckload of parts for one of these. And I got it all for $100. I'll go over what I got in a little bit. But mainly these interior pieces, and I guess 2 taillight lenses. I forgot about them. Windshield jugs, trim, stuff like that. Okay. And also, now amazingly, this one opens and closes good. The other one This one does have a steering wheel, so it's one good thing. These extra seats came with those parts I bought from that other guy. Same with all this stuff. I just jammed everything in the back and in the trunk of this, and then I'll show you the body parts later. Oh, this one, well, this one is actually white interior. The other one's maroon. I thought they were both maroon. Okay. So this one here, amazingly, you can see the curve there. It's a 318, and it's a 4-barrel. When I first bought it, I opened the air cleaner. It's a big 4-barrel, but it was full of dirt daubers, and I tried to pull them all out, but I know a bunch of dirt got dropped down into the engine. The power steering pump is actually missing on this one. So my whole plan was just to find an engine or build an engine for one of these that I fix up. But then I thought a little while ago, well, this one, it may run. They may have parked it because of the wreck. Obviously the fender and the grill and everything's missing. The hood's all crumpled up. Doors side swiped. They may have tore it down, didn't bother to fix it, and just park it. So the engine still may be good, or good at the time. Now here's the inspection sticker, or the, yeah, 1987 was the last time it was on the road. So, what is that, 34 years? Thing's been sitting for 34 years. I feel like one of them vice grip garage things. Will it run after 34 years? Well, I think I'm going to try it. What I'm probably going to do is just take out the spark plugs and oil it up before I even try anything. It's most likely seized, but I don't know nothing about Chrysler engines, about how well they, you know, whether they seize up from sitting or what. But I think we'll find out. As you can see, this one has the same rust as the other one. Quarter panel's just screwed. And this one, I think this one's even worse than the other one here at the bottom. It's just messed up. See if this one opens. And that one opens. I just don't know what happened to the other car, why the door latch is rusted shut. But like I said, they are both buckets comfortable. They both are RTs. Okay. So those are the two cars. They did have the catalytic converters on, but I had a guy years ago that come by and they had a machine and would jack up the cars and take them off for me. They actually took the two off of these two. So, but it doesn't, I wouldn't have put one back on anyway. But anyway, I sold them. Now, okay, let me show you the parts, other than interior parts and plastic crap that were in the trunk of this. Let's go over here and I'll show you what else I got for $100. Like I said, this was within a week or two of buying those, and it was about an hour away. So I thought, well, let me load up on parts, because that wreck one needed the hood and the fender. And this guy had one. And I was like, Jesus. So, and they're white. So here you give me two doors, and they both work, wind up, latches work and everything. I did have them covered up as well. I hope they haven't got screwed up in the last 3 years. They're a little dinged up, but they're two extra doors. Okay. The hood. Here's another hood. It looks, might be a few little dings on it, but not a bad hood at all. Okay. Let me look underneath here. This was actually, got these parts in Texas. It still is a little rusty, but probably not as rusty as the other ones. I got that. This is, I believe it's a rear bumper. for one of them. Okay, and then I thought I had the driver's fender. I don't have both. This is a passenger fender. I thought it was a driver's. But anyway, that's what I got for $100. I got that fender, another rear bumper, 2 doors, a hood, extra seats, rear seats, a whole bunch of extra plastic interior pieces, them extra tail lights, stuff like that I showed you. Got all that for 100. And they just been sitting there for 3 years as well. So a little while after that, it might have been about a year or so later, this 4-door popped up for sale. And I think I paid too much for it. I paid $500. And he said it run and drove. And when I got there, although it's not a V8, it's a slant 6. And he had the carburetor off. It was sitting in his garage. I said, well, I thought you said it would run. Oh, it'll run. It's just the carburetor was a little messed up. I took it off to rebuild it. And you can see the battery's still in it. So I got him to get the carburetor out of a shop, throw it in the front seat, and I haven't done anything with it. So I paid him $500 for it, mainly because of the body parts. Now here's a real nice fender here, but see, this is a 76 model, so, and it's a is it a Valari or Aspen, whatever it was, has a different grill than my 78, so I can't use that grill or bumper. See the bumper, the signal lights are in the bumper here, whereas mine are, these ones here are in the grill. I mean, I could convert it all over, but you know, I'm going to try to keep one of these original as I can. So who knows whether this car runs or drives. I mean, here's a carburetor. Like I said, I'm not too concerned about it. But now what I have is all kinds of extra parts on here. I got gauges and steering columns and little miscellaneous parts that I can use for the other ones if I need it. And this one is from Texas. There's a little bit of surface rust on the floors, but the outside of the body is just mint. This quarter panel here has dents in it, but what I can do is show you with my hand here. I could probably cut out a section like that, hammer it all out, and then weld it into the other car if I have to, because this part it'll be the same. The whole quarter will be different, but this section here will be the same, and I could cut that out and use it. Of course, the deck lid is, I don't know what I did here. There's another factory jack in there. You can see this floor, there's no rust in it or anything. I believe the deck lid is different. I'm not positive, but I don't know. Maybe it'd be the same. Then this quarter panel here is good. I said I could, you know, I could cut patch panels out of it. The one I had when I was a kid had a problem with the rear end. It was kind of a factory problem. So I got an extra rear end in this car. Got a brand new set of shocks there. So I'm sure, but if nothing else, I can sell parts from it. Or get this thing running and driving. I mean, what's it worth? I don't know what it's worth to somebody, but some people that come by and buy parts from me look at it. Man, that's a cool car. I'd like to have that. So some people might be interested in a 4-door. Not me. If you had a 4-door like this when you were a kid, you get laughed out of the school parking lot because it was a 4-door mama's car. But nowadays, I guess they're worth something, or at least a lot more than it used to be. But Oh yeah, I was gonna say it had a good. It has the front bumper guards on it. You know, and it's got a good hood. It's got a good. It was mainly what I bought it for. The hoods and fenders and everything are all the same for the 2-door, 4-doors. So I got a whole good front end. Well worth $500. I hated to pay that much, but yeah. Okay, so about a year ago, I had an ad. I have an ad that I run from time to time that I buy junk cars. Well, this guy with this car, this is an 87 5th Avenue. He called me up, says, I got a junk car, the starter went out. He wanted $100 for it. So I went over there and bought it for $100. Told me it had the 318 automatic. So I thought, great. So the engine was complete. I actually just sold the air conditioner and fan and stuff to a guy, actually just like last week. But this thing, I did put a starter on it, which I had from another, it actually from like a 96 Dodge pickup, fit this one. Put it on there, and it started up. But it's smoky, and it has absolutely no power. Hardly any power whatsoever. You know, you wouldn't be able to spin the tires or nothing. And I had it, no, it's probably been about 2 years now. And about a year ago, well, I had it advertised for about a year, and nobody even called for anything on it. And so I started using it as a push vehicle, but it had no power to it, just to push these junk cars around, because I was getting tired of using my truck and banging up my bumper and all that. So this damage here I done. I pushed this whole front end in and messed that up, and I think the back too. Well, actually, that guy that come over took that tail light. This one here, I busted up. I was trying to push this big, heavy old Land Rover, pushing it in the back of my lot, and I was tearing this thing up. Then because it had no power, wouldn't even push nothing. And anyway, I originally thought, well, great, I got a good 318 motor and transmission. I can just take it out, freshen it up, and put it in one of my RTs. But after seeing that it has no power and it's smoky and it's got I don't know, 1,000,000 miles on it, I said, no, it's not even worth the trouble. And another guy had one of these for sale. I think it was about the same year, about an 87, for sale. He said, oh yeah, it's got fresh tune-up, fresh everything on it. So I go down there, and sure enough, he'd put new spark plug wires, spark plugs, distributor cap, all that stuff. It sounded okay, but again, it had no power. He had a big long driveway from his shop to his house, asphalt. And I said, well, does it spin the tires? Well, I don't know about that. So I go, well, can I try? And I backed it out onto his long driveway and hit the gas, and it was like, had no power whatsoever. So I come back, and I said, well, you know, this thing has no power. Well, it drives good down the highway. And I said, yeah, but the thing is, you've done everything to this, tune-up wise. It ain't going to get no faster or more powerful. I guess this is the way it was made. I don't know. So that was the problem with this car. With this car, it run, but a little bit rough. And I thought, well, if I do a tune-up and do all that to it, it might run and have more power. But then after driving that other guy's car, no, these things are just made to be just slow-moving slugs. And of course, it has the called the lean burn system. That's the electronic fuel control system. And if you take off like the RT with the engine in it, that 318 has a big old 4-barrel. I don't know what Chrysler used back then, whether it was a Holly or what. But look at this little thing. It looks like a little 1-barrel. But that's what they did with these cars back in the 80s. They just bogged them down for fuel economy and everything else. You know, 85 mile an hour speed odometer or speedometer limits and all that crap. So I guess these weren't just made for power, but I know in the 70s they had a lot more power. The 80s just went downhill, because I grew up, got my driver's license, drove my mother's 75 Chrysler Cordoba with a 360, and I'll tell you, that thing was fast. That had some power. But I guess in the 80s they just bogged them down to nothing. So finally, a guy is restoring one of these, and came by. Like I said, he bought the AC deal, and well, I guess the alternator too, and some brackets. And then he bought a bunch of the interior. He actually took all the interior out to get the carpet. I sold him the carpet and the headliner. So far, I think he spent $200 on this, and he's still coming back for more stuff. He needs some AC. His was rat infested, as everything stunk. So he's replacing everything that got rat damaged. So he's coming over. He'll probably spend another couple of $100. And again, this got a good rear end in it. Got 4 tires and rims I can use for a roller for one of my RTs to roll it around till I decide what to do, which ones to keep. I think I'm going to keep them 15-inch rallies and probably get new tires for them, probably like 60s. So anyway, this motor, although this one does got a good transmission, so I know for a fact I got a good transmission, so I can use that if nothing else. I'm trying to find a non-computer running 318, 340, 360 small block, something like that. That's what I want for one of these RTs, if I can't get this one here running. So this is just the introduction to all these 4 Mopars that I got. I think these are the only Mopars that I got that I'm actually wanting to restore one. And what are these cars worth? You know, who knows? Probably, if they're in very good shape, maybe $10,000. So mine will, after fixed up, if you see my other cars like my Corvette and the GTO and the Malibu, of course those cars are worth a lot more, double what one of these would be worth fixed up. But in those type, the shape of my Chevelle or the GTO, that's how one of these will be worth, fixed up, be worth about 10 grand. And will I have 10 grand in it? No, I won't. I don't think I'll have anything in it other than labor. I think I have all the parts. The only thing I'll have to buy is paint. Now, the only thing that companies make for these are the stripe kits. I believe it's Phoenix Graphics. They sell on eBay, and you can buy every stripe RT. And of course, this is the Dodge. The Plymouth was a Roadrunner, but they're the same car. So you could buy any RT or Roadrunner stripe kit. They made these cars from 76 to 80. But dude, the thing is, it's not worth a fortune original. I'd rather keep it original, but this is probably the worst color and stripe kit for me. I kind of like them orange and black and orange stripes on the Roadrunners. But I did see some pictures of an RT that was black with some different red, orange, yellow stripes on it, and man, it looked good. That's what I was thinking. I'd rather have one of these black with but anyway, that's thinking way down the road. The main thing is to get one of these running, moving, running, driving, stopping, and start the body and interior work, get all that. And then the paint, of course, will be the very last thing to do. And you know, that's why I got 4 of them now, because I got to keep in mind nobody makes parts for these. You can find some used, but people are gonna want a fortune for them, for the parts, which is crazy. This thing was covered up. Here's the car cover after not very long, 6 months. It just blew off and disintegrated. So I've been trying to keep it covered, but not much luck. So I really need to do something with them. I need to get one going. And just deciding whether this 361 is worth more than the 318 one. Because if the 318 at the engine actually runs, I'll probably just keep that instead of swapping motors and all that. So anyway, that's the story of them, and I need to get going on them. So I don't know how long it's going to take me, because I got a lot of other stuff to do in the meantime. I buy these junk cars that are parked out here and sell parts and work on other stuff, and my mind wanders a lot where I'll work on one car and then I'll start on another. But if I got a video, if you guys like, subscribe, comment stuff, and really want me to get going on this, will give me motivation to stay on one project and get it as far as I can, or get a lot done in a set amount of time. Because, you know, like I kind of like this wagon too. This wagon here I've had for 5 years, and I'd like to fix that up. And I got my 78 Nova here, which I think I'm going to do next, since it does run and drive. This needs paint and body and some interior work, and I think the transmission leaks a little bit. The carburetor needs to be rebuilt, but it does run. So this is even though it's a lot of work, is what I consider an easy fixer for one of these cars. This one here, the wagon's rougher. So that's the thing, you know, which one am I going to do next? Because each one of them is going to take at least a year. Well, not the Nova, but this wagon would, and one of them RTs would, at least a year off and on. So which one do I do first? Plus I got more. I got a 72 Nova down there in the corner. I think that's it. And the IROC. I got an 85 IROC there, but I'm not really too enthusiastic about that. I really need to get these one of these RTs done. So anyway, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification button. Let me know what you think on these things, if they're even worth fixing. I know they made 1 million of them back in the day, but right now they are very far and few between, trying to even find one, especially an RT or a Roadrunner. But I think a lot of people don't fix them up because they're not worth the money. They're not worth 30, 40,000 like a Chevelle. And so anyway, that'll be it for now. Like I said, subscribe for me. I'm trying to get I just started out here on YouTube, so I need 1,000 viewers to get going, or 1,000 subscribers to get going, and give me a little motivation to do more videos. Although it helps even if I don't have any subscribers. Just keeps a kind of a history and records of my cars and stuff. So anyway, I will see you next video.